Your tagline says, "We build leaders who become heroes of their own stories."
I just explained that we are leaders that stop waiting for permission. We are leaders that come from fortune. Fortune, what is that? Values, principles, which has been forgotten over the years. And I'm building a forge.
As we know that you are a financial consultant, investment consultant, how do you distinguish yourself from other consultants in the same category or same market?
I am a very, empowerful woman, and I am a woman that I have to say that I was brought with love, and I was brought up with family values.
According to your purview, which regions, which sectors are very attractive for the foreign direct investment?
The most attractive places that are necessary forms to reform, I would say, government is important and it's improving. Plus, the capital, it's the most important thing.
There are multiple risks or loopholes associated with the FDI or investments.
I pursue transformational upside by limiting ruin and diversifying exposures on demand protection.
What were the inspirational factors behind to create family office nexus? This is Sher Afzal, the founder, the chairman of Global CEO Club. Global CEO Club is a registered entity in Pakistan as a private limited company, and its headquarters is based in US. Uh, my total journey with this organization is around 7 years, and this 7 years, these 7 years took me to be available in the whole world. Uh, and Global CEO Club has different business segments like international business alliances, business collaborations, investments, podcasts, magazine, uh, marketplace. Okay. And today we have invited a very prominent, very honorable lady, Miss Paolo Galeazzi, and
Thank you.
she is an investor, and she has a very big platform of investments of family offices investment. And now I request her that introduce herself to the audience of Global CEO Club.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Paola Galeazzi. I am the CEO of Galeazzi Enterprises. Um, I want to share a little bit about me and why, what was the reason why I took geared on being able to step into the plate to make things happen. I come from a family that is very rich in goods and in family orientation and values. Um, my family is not rich; it's medium class. But what makes the difference is that I have always been taught since I was a little kid to be built with love, compassion, and discipline, and to be able to keep back and to pay it forward. Because in order to be able to grow in all aspects of life, you gotta also acknowledge and work hard and work with discipline to be able to make it out there. Um, I was built by betrayal along the ride, and that's what forged me to be who I am today. Um, Coming from a Italian and Mexican family, which, different type of perspectives of vision in life. I was enforced by two parents that work a lot, that never really had time for me. So I was kind of like pulled off by my grandparents. My grandparents taught me and teach me and educated me with a lot of love, which right now the society, that's what they need. We're in a very peculiar situation at a global scale where there's no more family values. There's separation, identity separation, and also um, couples being divided. And it's part of the process, right? But I've always said that there has to be somebody in the family that breaks the rules. So I always been that person. I always been the person that doesn't make that doesn't get there because I was called always the black sheep of the family. I was not the normal kid, and I've always grown up with only adults. um, I didn't really play with a lot of kids. I was always surrounded by adults and adult conversations, which is something also that forged my identity into who I am today. My father always said, if you want to do something, you got to do it yourself. Don't codepend on anybody. Why my philosophy about building leaders who become hero of their own stories. I've always saw myself in other people because I believe in helping other people. I'm all about nurturing because I was nurtured since I was a kid through my youth and my teenage and my adulthood. So I would want to see, and I would want to be able to pay it forward, and I would want to enrich and guide somebody because I didn't have that privilege only as I was young. I had that privilege. And the knowledge and the wisdom that I have today, it's because I had to go out there and get it. I had to stay up late, you know, a lot of times, 24/7. And I had to go through a lot of backdrafts. There was years that I didn't close no deals, that almost took me 20 years to conceal a proper deal. There was a lot of warfare, and it was always something. It was always something. And I worked my way in a way of strategy, of structure, of seeing mentors and seeing other individuals guide the way that are older, that are wiser, that took me under their arm and showed me the ropes. Um, I want to say that, through the whole leadership ambition, I want to be that kind of person that gives back to the people, to all people. I have encountered a passion and a drive as a titan um, to pay it forward. What does that entail, and what does that mean? It means that over these couple of years, I have been re-educating myself. Um, I have decided that I want to invest my time in kids from the streets that don't have parents, in orphanage, in prodigy kids, in very gifted kids that are ready to take off. So I am also gifted. I have certain types of skills that I have been able to maneuver very well. I'm an indigo kid, and back in the days, I didn't have somebody to really guide me through that. So now, as I'm older and I have wisdom and knowledge, I want to be that force of nature that I can help other kids develop their intuition, develop their special gifted skills, and take that to the next level. So I created a project called Brilliant Minds Arise. It's not a foundation. It's just a project on the side that I have been developing since I was 17 years old. And I wanted to create something unique, to empower, leaders that are prodigy kids that can go back and re-educate other kids that are seeking for love, that are seeking to rise, that are seeking to for knowledge and wisdom, not what they are being taught and educated nowadays in school. Because for me, that's totalitarian. That's division. I believe that some of the stuff that we're educated nowadays in school has nothing to do with the type of education that fulfills you and guides you to become that leader that you want to be in life, to be able to reach that success. And I'm restructuring a unique system. It's called the Sophia consciousness, because it's about connecting people to Earth, and it's about connecting people to Mother Nature, and to have a different kind of perspective of life that it's more enriching and more fulfilling. That is one of my main projects, which I can share later on throughout the end. I'm also an ambassador for the Lives Amplified Society, the foundation. We have the academy, we have the events, and then we also have, 3 other divisions, where we also help people network, and we bring unique leaders that are either ex-presidents or current presidents or government officials, CEO of banks, financiers that are seeking to connect in a network, in a private niche of growth, that can take decisions at a global aspect, where we're going to decide what's best for the communities, for the cities, for the states, for the countries, for a multilateral aspect. And so far, nothing has really been going on right. We're facing a storm, a geopolitical storm, where decisions from totalitarian leaders have not really, been the best for the people. And the people are tired. The people are irritated. The people are distressed. I am an activist as well. And so I fight for the people. I fight for a better well-being. We deserve that. We work extremely hard and we keep back, and then nothing is being returned. People are tired of that. People are waking up of that. It's not right that our food is being poisoned, our water is being poisoned, and no one's really doing things about it. And if they are, it's really hard. There's a control, a hierarchy. And I've always believed in uniting people with the proper education of financial literacy, of proper etymology, vocabulary, because words have a seated, nurturing impact. It creates ripple effects. So we're not getting taught and educated the right, proper ways, and life has been a lie, denial of the truth, then what type of life are we living? When I created leaders who become hero of their own stories, is to really wake people up, to share truth. We are the people who rule the world, right? So that means leaders stop waiting for permission, for fortune. They train virtue, discipline, courage, and judgment of crisis that don't ride their narrative.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the detailed introduction. And we continue our journey for the podcast. Your tagline says, "We build leaders who become heroes of their own stories." What's that?
I just explained it. We are leaders that stop waiting for permission. We are leaders that come from fortune. Fortune, what is that? Values, principles, which has been forgotten over the years. And I'm building a forge of erotic individuals that have been living on denial for a very long time, and they have a voice. So I'm building not to be silent, but for them to lead the way, to be seen, but not being applauded in the front. How should I say it? In the front, like in work, you're put at the front. Everybody's watching you. I build them through resilience. I build them strong through wisdom, through knowledge. I create a masterpiece in a quiet length where nobody's seen, where they're built in silence. Why? Because I train them in virtue, in discipline, in courage, in judgment. Every leader is trained and goes through really rough patches in their life. Nothing's easy. If it was easy, we could have already been on the top of the mountain, correct? And so part of building a new, era of change, we need to build new leaders that have empathy, that have compassion, that are courageous, that step up to the plate to make things happen so that crises don't write their narrative.
Oh,
Pretty simple.
thank you. Thank you. So we continue, and as we know that you are a financial consultant, investment consultant, how do you distinguish yourself from other consultant in the same category or same market?
I would have to say, um, I am a very, empowerful woman, and I am a woman that I have to say that I was brought with love, and I was brought up with family values, and also I was forged, like I said, in betrayal, and I was forged with discipline. And also, I am a woman that comprehends the dynamics of what we're bringing to the table. And I believe that every woman that is going out there to support and empower their companies, they have to focus on a unique way of attracting clientele that pursues their trust. And so without trust and credibility, you're nothing. And prior to be able to make it out there, you have to not come up with, scamming relationships. Where I give you an example. Most of the time when I'm doing negotiations, I have to deal with a lot of other financiers, a lot of other brokers, a lot of other independent contractors. And sometimes I don't deal with other direct investors. So I always work with consultants, brokers, agents, because I want to be able to give them the opportunity. I don't deny them the closure. I keep them and I treat them like how everybody wants to be treated, with respect. But what makes the difference? The difference means it's that I don't stand for not being able to give them the opportunity. I don't actually charge for a fee. I don't charge for a retainer. I invite them to participate, and they have approximately 72 hours to show who they are, what they're capable of doing. Obviously, I do a due diligence on the individuals that want to participate and collaborate with me. But part of, of being able to be, reliance at what you're bringing to the table, you can't tell people, or not just them, or clients itself, individuals, anybody that's seeking for financing, you can't just say, oh, we'll do our best efforts. But meanwhile, you know, pay the fee and pay this other fee and then pay this other fee. You can't, because best efforts kills the negotiation. And best efforts, it's not coming through in 3 days. Best efforts kills the contract too. It could be one person. If there's individuals, different individuals that are participating in in the in one of the negotiations, if they are not prepared to strategically bring their discipline and expertise to the table and put the same work effort that I am doing as being the CEO, I put the same effort and the same time and the same energy to be able to execute. I expect the same thing from any broker, any consultant, any agent that's collaborating with me. And I want to make sure that we deliver as a team strategically, that the job is not partially done, but it's in a way that we know the timings, we know the timings of other individuals. We work in a structure that delivers, and we never say no to the client. Any client, doesn't matter if they are not prepared with their documents, doesn't matter if they don't have money or not. We always make it work. We're in all solution oriented. I agree that your time is everything, but the most important thing is how you deliver, how you find the proper resources, how you find, you know, an alternative solution during the storm, because that's what people want to hear. They're coming to you because, oh, yeah, by the way, I don't market myself like anybody else out there. I do everything through word of mouth. And I'm very happy because my privacy is everything. And I only work by word of mouth. And yes, I have a booster app. And yes, I have like different alternatives to market myself. But when I do it this way, I know who I'm bringing to the table. I know the individuals that I want to work with. It's not just any individual. I I do a proper due diligence verification process. Obviously, there is a consulting fee. I make sure that I can come through before they can pay anything up front. I have a backup. I don't base it on geopolitical situations, a storm, a tsunami, or any other alternatives. I make sure that if clients need something, I resolve it. Obviously, time lapse is the most important thing. So I sure believe that if we can execute in 3 weeks, that's the max that I give people, depending on the negotiations, then we can deliver. Anything else falters under my shoulders, and I make sure that our team can execute and can deliver. But we will never come at clients with, oh, I'll do my best effort. That's questionable. That doesn't exist in our vocabulary. best effort skill negotiations.
Oh, thank you so much. And you are doing excellent job. Keep it up. And I always pray for you to grow very smoothly. According to your purview, which regions, which sectors are very attractive for the foreign direct investment?
Well, the most attractive places that are necessary forms to reform, I would say governments is important and it's improving. Plus the capital, it's the most important thing. So where should I, you know, bring the spectrums? I would say Africa. Africa is in the rise right now, and Mexico is also in the rise. I'm currently working, with governor in the project, Interoceanico project. It's about building the whole Republic of Mexico. So it's a macro project that I'm currently working on that. So I would say that the most attractive places also would be, depending on the strategic network or investors that I'm currently working with. On my perspective, I have to say that Africa is really big. It's about to take off. It's already, expanding and regenerating, and enlarging. Excuse my accent. And I would say Dubai is also growing big time. I have currently it's there's sanctions around the world because of the war, of course, but Middle East is big. That includes South America, Middle East, Africa, Euro-Asia, and obviously India is pretty big. So I will keep myself in those countries, as most of my negotiations that I personally focus on, it's in environmental technology, anything that has to do with ESG government contracts. I focus on industrial and infrastructure developments. I also focus on real estate and anything that has to do with energy and green energy. It's a big one. I also focus in financial instruments, and I work with, you know, utilizing the private placement programs. We have securities, monetizations, we have monetizers. We have one of the biggest lines between one of the top five banks in Europe. Also, we have, um, you know, relationships with government officers in different parts of the countries. We also can help, politicians with marketing and branding their campaigns, political campaigns. Um, we also do international trade. We also do project finance. We also offered investment for cinematography, the film entertainment. We also focus on the arts. Um, and then we also organize very unique events for politicians as well. And we also do commodities in the oil business. I did say that, right? Okay, commodities. And currently, I personally have a lot of negotiations in mines, other investors that I work with that want to invest in joint venture, in mines, in the gold, in the copper, in certain types of minerals. That is where the focus is, and mostly it's in Africa. Most of my negotiations are in Africa and South America and Middle East and Euroasia and towards India too. But the most important ones that I currently have it's in Africa and South America and Mexico. Um, to answer your question, um, where the necessity forces our reform, with governments, it's improving, plus capital is scarce because that is where leverage and terms are the strongest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Pakistan is a very populated country also. Okay. And the mineral sector, the mining sector is also very big. Pakistan has a lot of resources through mines. And we may discuss the probable available projects in Pakistan as well. Uh, Industry, infrastructure, like that. So, Global CEO Club creates alliances among business community, among governments, nationally and internationally. Global CEO Club is very supportive for bilateral trade, multilateral trade, trilateral lateral trade. Okay, and the main role of Global CEO Club is to support businesses all over the world. And as I mentioned, that Global CEO Club has multiple segments to achieve this target, uh, like alliances, like trade and investment events from time to time itself and with its partners all over the world. From time to time, Global CEO Club organizes expos also with its partners. We are going to have an event on franchisee business in Pakistan, and that is being led from my Switzerland partner. So from time to time, we are creating collaborations, alliances among business community, and at the same time, I invite business community to visit business delegations to visit Pakistan through Global CEO Club. It's a big economy, you may say, and there is
It's
a
attractive. It's an attractive regions and sectors bring, sorry to cut you off, bring and forge, the type of capitalist that is scarce. So if there's scarcity in certain regions, our focus is to rebuild, the cities, rebuild the countries. Not only like do I do project finance, but I also work with other investors that are willing to take risks, that are looking into, renewable booms, grid upgrades, the necessity to give the investors leverage to be able to, utilize and move their money in a strategic way on the long run. So being able to have them, bring what they're seeking in the long run. So some of the current also negotiations that I have are negotiations where return of investment is between 15 to 30 years on the long run. So um, you don't want to leave your money in the bank. You want to have it moving around. And if investors are interested in having their money move around and have a really great return of investment while things are forging together, um, the idea, like I currently work with a very unique friend of mine. Excuse me. His name is Farsam Kamalabadi. He's a mentor of mine. I'm also a diplomat representative of his company and his private club society called the Matrix. And he's based out of Botswana right now, and there's a lot of growth and a lot of opportunity of investing over there and bringing potential investors that are looking to gain in the long run back. So I focused on bringing unique projects to the table for our investors that are looking either for the long run or for the short term. I work with some individuals in construction as well, and the new generation is forging on a 2 year lapse of return of investments. But the idea is to forge at a multi level for 10 to 15 to 10 to 30 years back, because now we're thinking the big picture. Now we're thinking a multilateral aspect. So how can you rebuild and restructurize a whole continent? That's something that I learned strategically from Mr. Farsam Kamalabadi, which he did it in less than 3 years. And I'm very privileged to be mentored by unique leaders that are making an impact and ripple effects in very short amount of timing, that provides me with the opportunity to leverage what we have and bring potential investors to Africa in every level, like water salination. You know, they want to rebuild, the Congo. They want to rebuild different locations that are already going through internal war, because it's sort of dangerous, to go on your own to these countries unless you're protected, right? There is a lot of scamming going on in many locations, but I feel, or I know, that if you have the right team that know strategically how this is done and can prove and can show at a macro aspect, then that is where you want to be at. And I feel very grateful to be working with very unique individuals that I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn the long way, and the long way is better because that creates resilience, patience, tolerance, and you don't want to build fast success. You want to build strategic. And for me, that is quiet power. Knowing how to connect the dots. I'm going to give you an example. For Life Simplified Society, I have a special gift, and I can do it with my mind. I don't really share these to a lot of people, but I can do that. And so a lot of people might think I'm crazy, but I can do it. So I'm capable of moving pieces around the governmental aspect, where I don't technically need to be there, but I can connect the dots with my mind, with people in different locations so they can actually meet. And then when they meet, they can start working together without having me being there, without me picking up the phone, without me connecting the dots. It's it's a gift that I have been working on it for almost 18 years now. And I just feel privileged that along the way, all these different gifts start lapsing and I can utilize them with my business. And it always works out because as an acquisition merger, it not only opens more doors, but I can see if somebody is lying. I can see through people. And it's not easy I'm gonna share. It's not easy. It's not an easy path. Um, it's sort of like clairvoyance. It's called clairvoyance. So it's not an easy path, but it carries a lot of weight. I know things that sometimes I can't predict from the future. I just know things. It just happens. They're revelations that God gives me to be prepared with my business, to be able to share the proper wisdom, the proper knowledge, the proper strategy. And I find it very interested because it opens more opportunities for me and it gives me the opportunity to collaborate with very unique individuals, which I haven't met personally, but they have already opened those doors for me. And I feel that I can step up my game to potentially bring and leverage more investors that are willing to work with us to continue growing, their wealth, and also to prevent it from collapsing as well, or from losing all their money. So I feel that is an extra incentive to what Galeazzi Enterprise brings to the table. I'm sure that there's a lot of valuable companies out there, but the type of value that I bring to the table is I'm a walking asset on the go, and I know what I can bring to the table.
Excellent. Excellent. That there are multiple risks or loopholes associated with the FDI or investments. How do you cater these risks?
Well, I pursue transformational upsides by limiting ruin and diversifying exposures on demand protections, stage commitments, and never bet the whole state on one campaign. Why? Because risk while pursuing a transformational growth, well, it's never a wager for the whole treasury. Why? Stage capital by milestones, it's a milestone. So failure is a cost. So the lesson behind that, it's that's not the kingdom. So it's sort of like a double meaning to it, but we need to be able to understand the dynamics behind it. You want to be able to not react while on the storm. The storm is your most comfort situation. So if you build through the storm, the idea behind it is that you're solution oriented. So a milestone, as it rises, failure is not an option. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. What were the inspirational factors behind to create family office nexus?
Well, I always thought that the most important thing and the most valuable thing is what type of individuals do you want in your circle? What type of, you know, secret ingredient will you bring to these investors or these clientele? What will you resource or source out that they will want to be part of? I'll give you an example. Most of the time, and this has been happening for a while, it was born to solve one gap: credible access in a global market Information's abundant, but trustworthy pathways are rare. Why? Because everybody wants to win, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And access is not, it's minimal to the people that have skin in the game, correct?
Yes.
If you don't have skin in the game, then access is not granted, right? So only those that have what it takes. So we do an in-depth verification process for investors. Maybe our protocol procedures are a little bit too much, and you're gonna have people that are gonna want to give you this information, but yet you're gonna have people that don't. So I created something unique where you want to be able to not cut costs or add more cost into something. You want to create a platform that you can give everybody the benefit. Because at the end of the day, you got to market all levels from medium class to okay and to high life. And depending on that, you want to make it accessible for everybody at their own packet and what they're capable of providing. And I believe that this unique system, it could be a really unique platform, not only as, like what we have, which is angels and investors, like that platform that they have. But at the end of the day, you want to make it resourceable for everybody's packet. If there is a group that can't afford it, well, why don't create an app? Pay $7. That's not a lot on a monthly basis, right? Whatever you close inside, you know that you're gonna have verifiable investors for that level. So creating like a 3-level package that offers incentivize for each division, it's strategic because you want to be able to work with all kinds of people. We want your dollar at a global scale. We're not focusing just on minorities. We're focusing on all types of people. And being able to create trust in all people and being able to deliver, that is the most important thing. Credibility is everything. And I want to be able to give to everybody at their cost and at their financial level, to be able to access this type of platform where they can be able to reach, and rise and up and accomplish their needs, their closures, whatever it is that they need. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, this financial and consulting world has become more tough and more tough because there's a lot of scamming going on. And now what the financing groups, it's so many, and they utilize that same retainer fee to put it on a private placement program, which is a PPP, and they monetize your money, and they want to go back to the client, and the client that doesn't actually know, and they say, well, you know what, we're going to charge you a fee with your own money. Obviously they are not saying that, but that's coming the client. They're not providing an alternative refuge backup for the client to ensure their contracts, to ensure that if they're going to put skin in the game, they're going to come through. No, they're utilizing that funding to put it on a private placement program. The people that don't know that are coming up will never find out if they don't know how the system works. And when you know the system works, you don't want to scam people. You want to be able to provide credibility and trust and build a bond of family. and you want to be able to create accessibility in every diversification of levels for each individual that is seeking for financing. And we want to be able to have them insured by our five top a insurance policies, whether it's lending, whether it's joint ventures, whether it's through equity, credit, anything that they need. We want to be able to have a backup for them, and that they feel secure that if they're putting they're not just paying a consulting fee, but they're paying a retainer, and then they're paying all these extra fees that we're gonna come through. It's not the area is not gonna take their money and utilize it. And what I have been seeing lately is that most of this time, financiers of today take advantage of the people that don't know how the system works. And that's how they provide best efforts. Oh, it's my time. Okay, great. It's your time. It's your value. It's what you're providing, and how much of a long of a term you're being able to provide that service. Oh, it's just for connecting the dots. You're charging more for connecting the dots than actually being able to deliver. And I believe that that should not happen. I believe that yes, it's important to value your time and your energy, and I believe that people should pay for your time efficiently. But there has been a lot of scamming going on lately in this whole finance world, and now the people that are coming up with their companies, it's really hard for them to network, and it's really hard for them to find verifiable financiers and investors that really have the fundings to come through. And they don't have the money right there in the moment. They have to utilize clients' money to put it on a monetization platform, and they move the money, make triple, quadruple, quadruple amount of income, and then when they come back, they tell the client, "Oh, with your own money that you lend me, I'm gonna make a lot of money, and then I'm also going to charge you a fee from your own money." Who is eating the lion? Who's eating who? Right? Do I
Yes.
have anything to lose? Yes, a lot. Because credibility and trust is everything. And I'm not going to let nobody get scammed again. People need to feel safe. People need to feel that their money is being safeguarded, that they're not paying a consulting, a retainer, then more skin in the game, and then they don't come through. We want to create something that's unique and that people feel safeguarded and that we can deliver. If we deliver, everybody's a happy camper. We want to build a dream and we want to make it work.
No, excellent. As you are associated with family offices, how do you differentiate family offices as compared with uh, traditional investors or investment institutions? How do you differentiate with as compared with family offices?
Well, family offices invest like rulers and not committees. So the price of control is continuity and discretion plus resilience and more than quarterly applause. What does that entail? Well, family offices versus institutions. Institutional money answers to legacy. So it chooses control, discretion, and endurance over applause.
Oh, thank you so much. So we move forward for merger and acquisitions, project finance, and deal making. Uh, from your experience, what makes or breaks a major merger acquisition deal?
I have to say that, like early, I just said it earlier today with what we were talking previously, but a deal breaks when ego gets in between. And hitting incentives plus weak integration. So they succeed when control and accountability and post merger execution are designed before signatures. So what does that entail? It entails that, I'll give you an example. Everybody, when we're negotiating, we're doing Zoom meetings, the way I manage it is I don't jump into a call unless they pay my consulting fee. My time is everything. I take a three hitter, which means that I make sure they send me a summary proposal, basic, not a corporate proposal. That's the first thing that I ask. I bring it on top. And if it's, for example, a broker or an agent or a consultant that's bringing, most of the part is that they're bringing the intermediary, right? Sometimes it's not just one or two or three or four brokers. There's more in the pile. So everybody has agreed because they don't trust one another, because they think that one and another is going to jump the deal. So prior to doing any negotiations, you gotta know who you're dealing with, and there has to be trust. Otherwise, it will not work. And I can give you an example. I usually don't deal with more than two brokers, because I want to be able to ease the process of the negotiation and create, you know, direct access possibilities. But I do get a lot of individuals that don't know what they're selling. They don't know and memorize what they are representing or who they are representing. So they just connect the dots as mergers, but they don't know anything about the client. And they either stay quiet on the negotiation, but they haven't signed an NDNC, they haven't followed the protocol procedures. And that has to be followed for everything, even on a legal aspect. They have to email to set up a bridge so you avoid breach of contracts. Um, I use a lot WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, everybody's connecting from one place to another, and usually happens that I get individuals that connect and then connect and connect and connect. It's never ending. And then I follow a chain of connection, and I always make sure that that person receives its commission, no matter what. And so I will have calls where people call me and they're like, oh, well, I will pay this person. You're going to do it directly with me. I know I'm not doing anything directly to you. I'm going to do it through the person that introduced you. I'm going to pay that person, and that person's going to pay you. And that's how we're going to do it. If you want to have direct access with me, you have to negotiate directly with the person that introduced you, and you guys have to sign a document that's binding, that gives you access to me, and that it's notarized by both parties, so they can avoid those type of issues. And the deal is pretty simple. It's really pretty simple. Like I think that when there's no trust, like I said earlier, in a negotiation, and you don't know who is who, I believe that people feel it's important to know and set up a proper evaluation of who you are working with before connecting the dots. I think that is very imperative, and not to provide access just because you want to close the negotiation fast. That very easy, unless you're in control of the negotiation. And you would only provide access when you feel comfortable and you feel that this could come through. I was explaining you that um, we had a negotiation that there's at least five brokers. I'm the main person that introduced the dots, but I put one of our associates into the negotiation, and obviously they are signed with me. They have everything structured with us, but I give them access to the investors, the financiers, and they're in control of that situation. So as long as all the people are aware of the philosophy of a structured strategic alliance, and nobody's cutting who, and everybody is agreeing the fees, then you can orchestrate and close a negotiation in 72 hours. What changes the dynamic is greed. It's greed and not being able to trust your partner, not being able to trust the negotiation, not knowing what you're selling and what you're introducing and what you're bringing to the table.
Oh, thank
So to kind of like end this conversation should be the deal dies after signing when the founder leaves and the customers follow. You go to design, the retention, and then integration. So before you celebrate, you have to make sure that you don't say anything to anybody till after the fundings have been deposited into your account. Otherwise, the negotiation falls.
Oh, thank you. Global CEO Club has a big marketplace like Amazon. Okay, people, a business community may display their companies on CEO Club marketplace to promote businesses all over the world and to make deals through Global CEO Club. So, a lot of other business segments Global CEO Club has and actively actively working. So we continue our discussion. You are question number 13. You are involved in advanced biomedical ventures also. How do you see health tech, health tech venture or area or sector in shaping the future?
Well, it's a big deal, you know, it is a big deal. So, health tech will shape the future by turning medicine from episodic repair into a continuous prediction. What does that entail? Shipping power to those who control data, trust, and distribution.
Oh, thank you. Question number 15.
Hold on,
How?
I'll give you an example. That way everybody can understand better. So health tech is shaping the future, right? So the future is in medicine, I should say Ayurvedic medicine or medicine that predicts and removes the monitoring that flags the decline early. Plus, the winners are those who integrate into the real clinical workflow, meaning those that really put the input.
Oh, thank you. How do investors evaluate credibility and scalability in frontier health tech projects?
I would have to say that credibility is proven by clinical evidence. So, regulatory realism, plus leadership quality, scalability. If it's proven by workflow and adoption, then a reimbursement of logic plus operational departability is effective.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm again very grateful to you that you joined this session and you and me are working for the same cause to promote or to create alliance among the business communities. Okay, and to this is the basic factor to facilitate them to expand all over the world. So we continue.
Usually, investors judge on frontier health tech. So, showing clinical proof and regulatory path plus a reimbursement, and it's logic, right? Because it's science without adoption. But in some cases, I mean, it could be a beautiful experiment. But in some cases, we've seen that it's not been working, and like now in this generation, like I said earlier, we're facing the Sophia consciousness. So people are inclining into grit, um, Mother Earth, nature, Ayurvedic medicine, natural resources, um, and I'm not going against it, opposite, but if you combine, the tech with Mother Earth natural resources, it's a really great opportunity as AI. It's so advanced, and it's recreating really what your body needs. It's sharing you what is the cause of the problem. So I'll give you an example. In our uh, I'm work currently as with an individual. His name is John Baxter. He's financial advisor and he's growth partner. And his company is called JRB Enterprise Group Inc. And his website is the Anti-Aging Bed. And he is the creator of the med beds. And so we have had a very advanced technology that could really help, at a global aspect, all doctors, private clinical doctors, or even, any doctor that is open to have this in their facility. It has been proven that now we have access to, being able to find out the history with a single hair strand from the client, and all the difficulties, health issues they have gone through in less than 60 seconds. And also being able to take blood, or, from the clients, and I'm not probably saying it right. I have so much going on in my head right now. I apologize. But the testing has become more accessible and faster than a couple years back, and also organizational systems where we have AI rings for the clients to come into our laboratory, and they just tap it on our system, and automatically we have all their health life history in that ring, in a private data. So there's a lot of things that we are creating and that we have created, that Mr. John Baxter has created.
So thank you so much for your presence with Global CEO Club, and we continue our journey for the podcast, and we move forward towards luxury and elite networks. Uh, why do high net worth individuals increasingly seek private and elite investment societies?
Luxury concierge and elite networks. Well, high net worth individuals seek concierge and elite societies because the truth of luxury is certainty produce access, safety plus created opportunity, or curated. Am I saying it right? Curated opportunity. An
Okay.
example would be why HNWI wants concierge versus elite societies. The true luxuries is certainty. Better access, speed, plus safety. Because in elite, it delays, plus it leaks, and that's a real cost. So that answers your question.
Okay, thank you so much. We move forward towards question number 20. How do you trust and discretion factor into managing elite global networks?
Like I said earlier, trust and discretions are the currency of elite networks. Lose them once, and no amount of wealth can buy them back.
Oh,
I'll give you an example. In high circles, discretion is currency. One leak invites rivals, regulators, and predators. So information must be moved on and a need to know basis. So earlier were people saying, what moves the world? They say it's money, right? But it's wrong. It's leverage of information.
okay. Thank you so much.